Welcome to 9wax TV. It's a new year and I always like to start the new year off with the same video. I visit an array of Porsche specialists from the 9wax marketplace and ask them some simple questions. What is going to happen in the marketplace this year? And are there any models specifically from the Porsche lineup that they would put their personal money into? These videos are always really interesting. We speak to specialists who spend their full-time working week heavily invested in the Porsche marketplace. They, like Lakeside Classics here, quite literally put their money where their mouth is, buying their stock outright. So, as I said, heavily invested. We're really grateful, therefore, that specialists share their insight with us and you. We'll start by speaking to Henry here from Lakeside Classics. First of all, on how he viewed the Porsche marketplace in 2025, before he imparts some inside knowledge on what he thinks is going to happen in 2026 and where he'll be putting his personal money. Henry, cars to buy in 2026, the year that's just gone. In a couple of sentences, can you surmise what happened in the Porsche market?
We'll look at the models that I deal in, or we deal in here. So prices have kept stable, demand has kept pretty stable too, with the 991.1, especially with what we deal in the 997s. Remember, this is to do with the fact that we're selling cars with naturally aspirated engines, and I think we've reached a time in motoring, in motoring history where we're less excited about the newer stuff and more looking back at the older stuff and going, wow, this stuff's now affordable and it's amazing. So the demand is still there, and I think that they're tremendously good value. And I would also say that the prices of the newer cars are too much. So it makes these look even better value. So the newer cars have struggled, the 992s. Think 5 years ago, people were dreaming of getting a spot at Porsche to buy a GT car. I had to wait a year for a Turbo S. I'm a dealer, so maybe we won't even sell you one. And then they were going for, 240,000. Now, multiple WhatsApp groups, and you can have this GT3 at list. So how tables have turned.
Where do you see the market going in 2026?
I don't see a tremendous amount changing. It's going to get progressively harder to find good examples of 991.1s because simply they're such a great value. You can use them at the moment. We're going to be in that period, and 997.2s, where I think you'll see more of a gap between a lower mileage one, and because they'll be so far and few between that there'll be a bigger price difference between a high mileage one and a lower mileage one. So I think that will continue.
Are there any models specifically that you feel aren't necessarily getting a fair look in right now?
A fair look in. Okay, I'm specifically going to be talking about 911s when it comes to Porsche because that's what we deal in and that's where my main interest is, in all honesty. But underappreciated, I don't underappreciate them, that's for sure. But do I think more and more people could start appreciating them? Yeah, 100%. And I think that could be, again, the 991.1 naturally aspirated engines, and I think the 997.2. Because I do think they just represent fantastic value because obviously they bridge the gap between the classic Porsches and the modern. The 997.2, often, some people consider it the last handmade Porsche. So you've got, and it's so small and fantastic for a B road. So yeah, I could 100% see more people just jumping from the 992s or even from the 991, from the turbo cars, the 991.2 generations, and thinking, I'm at 0 to 60 in however many seconds, I might want a bit more engagement. Wow, that sound of that naturally aspirated is amazing, and they might go back to those older cars, therefore demand might pick up and prices will increase. I could see that happening. How much better is a 992 than a 991 or a 997? The price difference is huge. Does that price gap represent how much better they are?
Sub 100k and then post 100k, where are you putting your money right now?
So actually one that I would 100% buy, which has been said to be an investment car for a long time, is the 996 GT3 RS, the original RS. So first of all, you've got it's the fact that it's original RS. Look at the original lightweight. When people went, wow, look what's happened after these cars. You can't look at the GT3 RS now. It's just the car, isn't it? So if you're actually looking at motoring history and a collection, you should have one of those really in your collection. So you've got it. I mean, how much are they at the moment? 165 grand. So for a pretty good one, maybe a bit more for a lower mileage one. The fact that the 4 litre has now gone up shows even better value for that, and there's only 682 of those cars made, 604 litres, 682 of those, so they're very, very rare still. So I think that car, for all those reasons, is one that is really collectible and one that should be in a collection, and therefore I could see those going up in value. Porsche started making loads more in numbers, the quantity of cars from the 991 generation up, really. Cars used to be made in very few numbers. After the 993, you know, with the Turbo S, there were 345, was it, those Turbo S's? You've got the 997s, which were rare cars. You've got the Sport Classic 250, you know, we always say it, don't we? The 4 litre 600. So I'm looking back now and seeing those rarer cars. I still want them equally as much as I did last year. I still think, okay, we've seen the 4 litre jump up from the last time I said I want it from 350 to 450 grand in this country. I still think that will keep climbing. So if you're looking to make money, the 4 litre and the Carrera GT, I would look at it like a fantastic share that your fund manager has told you to buy and says the best holding time is forever. I would still think we are way on the ladder going up because the new stuff is boring. Under 100, I think the most exciting thing is, I still look at them and think I want to jump into it every time, would be something like a 997 Turbo. I just think they are incredible. I still look at it and go, I want to put that as my daily car. So, and again, I relate it to a 992 Turbo and think that's what usually happens. Inflation goes up, the prices goes up, and then those classic cars keep going up in value with them. I think that 997 Turbo will keep doing that.
That's the views of Henry at Lakeside Classics. Let's see what Rob has to say from Harbour Cars. Have there been any particular good news stories from the year in terms of any models that you think have fared particularly well?
Yeah, we've had another good year of 981 Cayman and Boxster product, and especially this year, Gen 1 991. So first generation 991 has been a good year. Yeah. Has been a good year, and I would say that they've gone up in price a little bit this year.
So with that in mind then, going into 2026, yeah. And this is all crystal ball stuff at this stage, yeah. Of course, but yeah, how do you see, again, from a generalist point of view, how do you see the Porsche industry faring? I
hope much the same as the last year's been, and I think I don't think there's anything that's gonna change that. I think I think I wouldn't have wanted, and going forward I wouldn't be looking forward if I was a main agent selling new cars, but we're not doing that, and I think in this level of speciality, particularly in the Porsche product, I think we're good to go, and hopefully with a bit of educated optimism that, yeah, I think it'll hopefully be the same as the year that we've just finished.
So for 2026, sub 100k, which models are you tipping as great buys, and for what reasons?
Okay, so under 100,000, which is our market, I'm going to divide that up into 3 categories of cars, which sort of fit in 3 different price ranges. So number 1, I would say 981, particularly the S product and GTS product. These are cars between, say, 30 and late 30s, say set as S product, and 40 and 50,000 as GTS product. We can't get enough of them. We literally cannot get enough of them. They're good for us, and that means they're good for the people who want to buy them and drive them. There's a small enough amount of them at any one time for sale, particularly really good ones. There could probably be triple the amount of them in the market, and it would still be a good product to have. And they're rock solid. We've now been selling them at the same price for over 2 years. So yeah, so that's one to put your money into. So that's, I'd say, a sub £50,000 car. Going back onto what we were discussing about 991s, we have just had a pretty decent year on Generation 2 991s as well, but the absolute safe area, because I think they're going up, because I feel over the last year they've gone up, and I don't think they've completely stopped going up, and be a little bit careful about talking about cars actually going up. I'm not talking about you won't make money out of them, but they'll, in real terms, they'll go up because they'll get older and they'll have more miles on them. And by being a bit older and having more miles on them, but say the same price, that to me is a car that's gone up. But yeah, and so first generation 991 and sort of pretty much everything across the board there. And again, because they've been getting really good ones of those is difficult, even though they were made in decent numbers. There's a big used market for really good versions of them, because a lot of them got used quite a lot, because they were so drivable, so approachable. Third car, it's still a 981, came in a different price range, but a 981 GT4, great car. We track them by default because we've been dealing in them, all of these cars, since they were new. But there's probably half to a third of the cars on the market now that there was this time a year ago that are 981 GT4s at any one time. And you're now looking at spending 60, 65, you get a great car there, and there's no historical or statistical reason that I can see why they're going to pull away from that price. They went down a bit. They were, but they're rock solid now going forward.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed in the last sort of couple of years coming down slightly, and they've sort of bottomed out, if you like, now,
yeah.
and they're sort of like the gateway to a modern GT product.
Yep, definitely. Yeah. It is modern, and it's obviously a genuine GT product as well. And yeah, I think they came down a bit. I think they bounced. I think they've already bounced a bit, but they're also just not out there in the quantities. Yeah, talking numbers on 981 GT4, and it's like, you don't have to be super clever in my job to see it, because you just see it anyway. But there was a lot of time when a 981 GT4, there was 70, 80 cars on the market. In 2016, 17, just after launch, they probably peaked at just over 100. I remember when there was 100 and floating around 100 for quite a while of those cars. That's mental, absolutely mental. It's just not the amount of cars that there should be of that type in the market. It's 25, and this year it's probably gone from 70 down to the latter half of the year, 20 or 25 cars maximum available at any one time of the 981 GT4. 996 GT3, well, what do they make? Like Gen 2 cars, 320 or something right-hand drive cars, and there's probably 5, 6, 7 cars for sale. Obviously, it's a real GT car. It's 70 grand. It's completely unique. It also is what it is in terms of drive and everything about it. You'd struggle to say that they ever bettered it. Yeah, I think the Gen 2 is better than the Gen 1 personally. And I think it deals with that. But I mean, it's crazy, and it's just got a real simple reason why it will be why it will go up, is because it is a 100 grand car. It will be a 100 grand car. So it's just when it goes there. I've wrote here, over the next 5 years, you can't lose.
Finally then, above 100k, where would you personally be sticking your cash?
Okay, so I mean, this is a little bit above my pay grade, because we don't sell lots of cars in this price range, but we do sell some. And I would say 718 GT4 RS, so as an individual car. Okay. So obviously not a daily use car, that, and I will come to that in a minute. But yes, I know they made too many. Yes, I know they've had a bit of a roller coaster. But I firmly believe they're great news now. Why do I think that? I mean, they're they're kicking off about 120-ish now, 120, 125, and that's kind of the base price of a base car. But if you went and spent 125, 130, you wouldn't be getting a base car now. You'd be getting it, with a Visac pack or something like that. So you'd be getting quite a bit more car than that. And these will all be negligible age and mileage cars. And other end of the scale. So let's say you are spending over 100,000 and you want to have the best of the most up-to-date supercar and value for money. I'm going to say 992 Turbo S. So that's another car that everyone would say, well, they made too many of them. They've gone from roughly 180, 200,000 down, and probably if you had one and you wanted to sell it to back to a dealer, they might have not wanted it. Perhaps, especially if it was a main agent with other product coming through, which they were having to pre-register and so on, because too many were made. But that's just, conversely, that's meant that they're great value for money now. So for 120, 130,000, you've got an over 600 horsepower supercar, which you can measure against any other car that it competes, any other car in the market by the standards of that car and all that it competes with in terms of all those competitors' products. Maybe a little bit abstract, but I would say you could do a lot worse than a 992 Turbo S.
That's a great two-car garage as well, by the way. A 718 RS and a Turbo S. It's pretty good.
There you go, yeah.
Really good. Okay, look, thanks as always for your insight, Rob. It's always a pleasure to visit here at Harbour Cars. We wish you and the team every success for 2026.
And for you too.